What's up, NBA fan? What's up, all sports fans? This your boy JB, host of the Behind the Bench Podcast Network and channel, giving a shout out to the rest of the crew. Shad, Kelvin, KB Film Room, Big Dog Talk Sports. That's right, that's right. Everyone who's tuning in, thank you for supporting Behind the Bench. Subscribe to the channel. Help make the show the best that it can be. Now, let's turn our focus to last night's action in the NBA, the National Basketball Association. And in particular, the contest that took place between the Los Angeles Lakers versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. Lakers playing on the road in Minneapolis, and they succumbed to defeat, losing to Minnesota by the score of 97-87. A low-scoring game. A lot of turnovers also. I believe the Lakers committed 20 turnovers last night. And truth be told, Minnesota really should have won this game by more than what they did. But at the end of the day, they said all that count is the W. And Minnesota won last night with, I'll tell you what, Rudy Gobert, it seemed like when he plays the Lakers, particularly since he's been with the Timberwolves after being traded there 2 seasons ago, he puts forth a good effort, man. He usually get a double-double. And that's pretty much what happened last night. And he does have impact on defense. You can see it. You can see it. And Ant-Man Anthony Edwards scored 23 points last night. And he did the... See, this is how you close a game out. You don't have to shoot all them three-point shots like he's been doing. Because Minnesota should have a... They have probably lost, at minimum, 5 games this season that they should have won, or they were in position to win. But nonetheless, he closed it out by driving to the basket, drawing fouls, getting to the free throw line, hitting free throws. That's how you do it. And Julius Randle, he had a steady game last night. He scored 21 points and about 5-6 rebounds. And I must say, when he goes up against Anthony Davis over the past 5 seasons, since the time that, actually the past 4 seasons, from the point where Randall signed with the New York Knicks and Anthony Davis traded to the Lakers, they played pretty much to a standstill. AD does not play. He does not outplay Randall as much as what many may be led to believe. So let's say out of 8 contests, AD may have outscored Randall 5 times, and Randall outscored AD by 3 times. But nonetheless, AD scored 20-some points last night. I think he scored about maybe 25 points. Now, I tell you, I do like Max Christie. I like his growth as a player, his development as a player in his 3rd season. And along with Austin Reeves returned back to the lineup last night, he dropped about 17, 18 points. D'Angelo Russell, well, I tell you, man, I know he has to be getting tired about these trade talks. He contributed with 5 points. He tallied in 5 points coming off the bench, mind you. And the Lakers were without the Hurricane last night, but to tell you the truth, I really don't think it would have made too much of a difference. Minnesota probably played down to the situation, whereas if the Hurricane was in the lineup, I'm sure they would have played better than what they played. But at the end of the day, I want to show something. There's really not too much to put into yesterday's game. I mean, it is what it is, man. like I say, I don't buy into this whole situation, and I always believe, based on, as they say, the empirical evidence, the Lakers run with this guy on the team. Uh, they got 1 year out the deal, and that culminated in the bubble, and it's been over ever since. And I want to show proof of something real quick. Give me 1 second. Those are the standings as of last night. As of last night, games, these are the current standings. As you can see, when you study it, in the Western Conference, these are the top 12 seeds. Look at the top 4 seeds. What do you see? Number 1 seed, top seed in the West right now, are the Oklahoma City Thunder, who have won 8 out of their last 10 games. Followed by the Memphis Grizzlies in second place, who have won 9 out of their last 10 games. I really like that Memphis Grizzlies team. They're a physical team. They play good defense. They have dynamic guard play with John Morant, 2-guard Desmond Bane. They are a balanced team. Jaren Jackson, Defense Player of the Year from a 2023 season. Brandon Clark is back at the center position. You're getting great contribution from the bench, and they're sitting there in second place. Then you have the Houston Rockets. The Houston Rockets, who have started the season off strong. They're a half a game out. Currently sitting at the third spot. They've won 7 out of their last 10 games. Then you have the defending Western Conference champion, Dallas Mavericks, a game behind. They've won 8 out of their last 10 games at the 4th spot. Followed by Golden State, the 5th seed, the Denver Nuggets, the 6th seed, the Timberwolves, the 7th seed, the Phoenix Suns, the 8th seed, the Clippers, the 9th seed, the Lakers sitting right there at the 10th seed. But this is what's really standing out. The San Antonio Spurs, who have clearly improved from last year with Victor Wembanyama playing in his second season, they share the same record as the Lakers in the 11th spot. Lakers hold the tiebreaker because they've beaten the Spurs both times they played each other. Then you have the Sacramento Kings right there at the 12th spot. Now, the way I see it, the Timberwolves, the Nuggets, and the Kings are going to make a push at some point. They have too much talent not to. Timberwolves' defense is starting to lock in, if you notice, over the past week and a half. Their defense starting to lock in. It's just a matter of Anthony Edwards need to play better down the stretch, and they just need to play more discipline. And eventually, those 3-point shots they've been missing to start the season, a lot of those 3-point shots is going to even out. It's going to balance out, and they're going to hit those. If you look at both LA teams, they're neck and neck. And both LA teams could be in the trenches for a long time trying to dig themselves out. Because 5 seasons ago, they both threw their chips in. They cashed their chips in, threw them in the middle of the table. The Lakers, to a greater degree, in that they essentially sacrificed an entire young core along with draft picks. The Clippers mortgaged away a ton of draft picks to bring in Paul George, who's now playing for the Philadelphia 76ers, another team that's struggling, by the way, who's been throwing their chips in the middle of the table for the past 4 years. So you look at these standings, I would suggest to get used to it. Now, the Suns, they're in the same boat as the Clippers and Lakers. They're in the same boat because they threw their chips in too. When they brought in Kevin Durant at 35 years old, then they traded away their cornerstone players who reached the finals 4 seasons ago, they're in the same boat too. So the way I look at it is, your top 3 seed teams in the West are squads that have developed and stayed with the young players who they brought in, primarily through the draft. So they're led by young stars. Oklahoma City, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's about, 26 years old. He hasn't even hit his prime yet. Then you have Chet Holmgren. Then you have Jalen Williams. Memphis Grizzlies. John Morant, if he returned back to the way he was playing like 3 seasons ago, and they have Zach Edey now as a rookie. The Houston Rockets, Alperen Sengun, Jalen Smith. What's the guy? Oh my God, and I can't think his name right now, but it's right there on the tip of my tongue. But nonetheless, the Houston Rockets, Jabari Smith, Jalen Green, Jabari Smith. Those kind of like their cornerstones. You have Dylan Brooks, and then you have Van Vliet, and then there's talks that they may be trying to bring in another star player. So they're not going anywhere for the foreseeable future. The Mavericks not going anywhere. As long as they have Luka Doncic, they're going to be a contender. The Nuggets have the best player in the league right now, Nikola Jokic. That's 5 teams right there. The T-Wolves are going to move up. The Spurs are only going to improve with their young star. The Kings, De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis, and the like. They're going to make a push. So someone's going to be left out. Now remember, Keegan Murray too for the Sacramento Kings. And they got Malik Monk coming off the bench. The Pelicans would be in this equation if they wasn't ravaged with injuries that have decimated the entire roster. From Zion Williamson, Brandon Ingram, C.J. McCollum at one time, Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, Jordan Hawkins, Jose Alvarado. We can go down the line. But nonetheless, somebody's going to fall down in this conference as the future moves forward. Logic would tell you whatever team mortgage their future to pursue a win-now scenario, that is going to be the team, or those are going to be the teams that are going to falter. So that's why I say, as far as this season, when it comes to my squad, the Lakers, there's really not too much to analyze or discuss or to get frustrated about, other than you be glad and be relieved when this nightmare is over, because this is a nightmare. They've been telling us since day one that you have to go for broke every year, and they've done it 6 times over. And they sitting here right now, as of today, 1 game over 500, and it's because they mortgaged the future off. It's not because of the front office per se, them being incompetent. That's lingo. That's all it is lingo. It's scapegoating. It's blame deflecting. That's not the root of the problem. The root of the problem is what they gave up, what they began to give up 6 years ago, when all this started. And you've seen it trickle every season. Now the year of the bubble, well, that's the year where you threw all the chips in to pursue a championship. But you mortgage off a decade to do it. If you didn't mortgage off a decade to do it, like I said, it's hard to repeat. So we've seen a lot of great teams that look like they could repeat, but wind up not doing so because it's hard to do it. That's not the issue. But even if you don't repeat, you shouldn't fall off the face of the earth either. You shouldn't fall off the map, where you cannot win 50 games and you cannot finish among the top 4 seeds in your own conference. And you have 2 superstars. Yeah, so at the end of the day, this is what we're looking at, gentlemen. The gig has been up. The gig has been up. And the Clippers are going to go through the same thing because James Harden is an older player. Now, he's off to a good start this year. He's in shape, but he's an older player. And as the season, progresses and, you approach the halfway point, well, the young teams are going to have the advantage. They're going to finish stronger. Look at the streaks. Like Clippers, 5 out of their last 10 games. Lakers, 3 out of their last 10 games. And they got a difficult schedule coming up. Suns, 4 out of their last 6 games. You see what I'm saying? Warriors, they've kind of slipped down a little bit, but they have enough championship moxie to pull some games off. But at the end of the day, I believe they had a run. It's a tremendous run. So what these standings show me, this is just 24, 25 games in. The young squads have it. They have the energy and the chemistry to surpass the veteran-laden teams. And it's not going to change. So that's why the Hurricanes are always putting pressure on the front office to mortgage more away to bring in a star player to try to jumpstart the effort. But the future's already been mortgaged. So these standings tell me what the future's going to be and what the future has been since the bubble. This is not going to change. It's going to be airtight, and they do not have any margin for error. OKC have margin for error. Think about it. They've been without Chet Holmgren since about the second week of the season, but they still rolling. Memphis was missing Ja Morant for about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, but they kept on winning. They kept on rolling. Dallas Mavericks. Luka had been out about a week or so. He just kept on winning games, man. So I just wanted to show this real quick. So in closing, give me 1 second. In closing, goal for G and Rob Pelinka should be to get the team back. It's as simple as that. Get the team back, man. Let's stop the nonsense. Get the team back. He cannot afford to make any more moves. He know it. He know what's up, but the fans of the team, most of the fans of the team, man, they don't want to hear that. But that's the reality. The chips have already been cashed in. And the only way to keep this thing going is to continue, hocking away draft picks, trading away players. It's like a revolving door, man. It's like it's like an assembly line, man. And you can't function like that when it comes to professional sports. So the window was closed, man. The window was closed. And the Hurricane, as you can see, he's not going to represent. When it start getting tough, he's not going to represent. He's going to check out. So when they say he out for personal reasons, that's not going to fly. Kobe Bryant didn't do that. He repped the franchise when we were down, starting all over again. And that's why he said when he played his last game, he gave that speech. He said more than the championship years, I'm more proud of down years because we didn't run. So when we start winning those championships again, we did it the right way. That's all I need to hear right there. The mentality is, boy, you talking about that's a 180 when it comes to mentality. So the gig is up, man. Laker fans need to, stop putting pressure on this front office. Stop blaming the front office all the time. And understand that it's over, man. And rally to get our team back. That should be the number one focus after the season over. Get our team back and stop this circus. It's over. It's been over, man. And understand that how important young talent is and how important young talent was when we had the deepest and best young core in basketball at the time before the Hurricane came knocking at the door. So I just want to drop that nugget. Until next time, this is JB for BTB Behind the Bench.